Good morning, everybody. Hope you're staying warm on this chilly day. Here is your online learning experience for today. As we dig more into the Gilded Age, we know that the Gilded Age was a time of incredible industrial growth. The United States transformed like probably no other time in our history when it came to the production that happened in a variety of industries. You already have a lot of them on your sketch notes. You probably already know the oil industry, the steel industry, railroads exploded. And these really huge businesses developed. And we got what became known as the richest men in America, the richest men in the world. And you're looking at four of them right here: Andrew Carnegie, John D. Rockefeller, Cornelius Vanderbilt, and J.P. Morgan. There's others that are involved there. You've got the titans of industry like Jay Gould and Henry Frick and Andrew Mellon and eventually Henry Ford and Thomas Edison can be involved in there as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to ask the question about these people. Are they captains of industry or are they robber barons? Were they good for America then and now maybe? Or were they negative? Did they help America grow and progress? And were they positive for everybody in society? Or did they make scatloads of money off of the back of cheaply paid, poorly treated labor that didn't get anything out of it? So here's what you're going to do. All right, we're going to have like a little mini debate discussion online using Flipgrid. And so you're going to do this in a couple steps. The first thing you want to do is you want to go to your favorite American history website here. Actually, it's probably the only one that you ever go to. But you're all of your instructions are sort of laid out right here, and it's really, this is the key part of the assignment right here. What I want you to do is you're going to take some notes on both sides of this argument, the pro and the con. Okay, the notes are right here, and all you got to do is open them up and make a copy of it. They'll say make a copy. Yes, you want to. Here's where you're going to take your notes, and eventually you're going to print this out and put it into your Modern America Emerges binder. You can see your target right there. I can evaluate the industrialists of the late 1800s from multiple perspectives. And here are all the sources that I'm providing for you. You've got primary sources, secondary sources, cartoons, and statistics. I want you to use all of them. And you don't have to necessarily go in that order. It might even be interesting to start with the statistics. And what you do is, as you kind of go through these, and I've got them up here as well, as you go through these notes, for example, here's a statistic right here. And you can see that there's a whole bunch of graphs that I put together. But this shows right here that during this time period, these businesses that were built have had an incredible amount of percentage of the total industry. John D. Rockefeller had almost 90% of the oil refinery. The American Tobacco Company had almost 95% of the cigarette industry. Look at the American Sugar Refining Company. I mean, it's almost 100%. And if you wanted to send a telegraph, it had to be on Western Union. Would that mean that the leaders of these companies are robber barons or captains of industry? Are they doing good or are they doing bad for the people? That's what I want you to do, and then you can sort of add those onto your notes. By the way, you can type your notes or you can print them out. I would not, I'm suggesting you don't just go and cut and paste because your notes are going to get too ginormous. If you want to print this out and write them, that's fine because it's going to have to be printed out anyways. So I want you to look at statistics, primary sources, secondary sources, and some cartoons. There's some more information that I have for you if you really dig into this stuff, if you're really interested. I've got some more links on the bottom here. Some cool videos about four of these guys that were giants. Some more information, just on both sides of the whole story. After you're done with taking some notes, I'm thinking that's probably going to take, this was going to be done in a class, so that's probably going to take you probably about 30 minutes. Then what I want you to do is I want you to, if I can get to your notes here, I want you to take a stand. Were they captains of industry or were they robber barons? Do you think that it leans towards the good or towards the bad? And you can get individual if you want. You could even say both. You could say that they were somewhat captains of industry, they were somewhat robber barons, maybe one was, one wasn't, whatever you want. But then what detailed statements are you going to make in an online discussion? When I mean detailed, I mean don't just say that they were captains of industry because they did good stuff. Be specific. You can be specific on who, you can be specific on what, you can use statistics. If you're going to quote a primary or secondary source, you can say, as argued by so-and-so, what is going to be your evidence to back up your assertion? Remember, no assertions without evidence. That's Mr. Zarwell in the upper school. And then you're going to post those on a Flipgrid. The link is online. It's also going to be on my USN. It's the Industrialists, captains or robbers. That's the question, analyzing the Industrialists. You're going to go to your section. All right, if you're section 1 right here, click on it. And then you tap to record. You've got 30 seconds to make your statement, or to state your case. In those 30 seconds, you can make a statement, and then you post it. If somebody else has already made a statement, watch and listen to what they say, and then you can respond to them. You can, I think you can make comments on them. Be nice. You know, we're good digital citizens here. We're working on an academic, structured conversation here. You know, in other words, don't be an idiot. Plus, if you're being an idiot, it's online, and I'm going to see it, and everybody's going to see it, and you know, you don't want that. Come on, we're good people here. All right. So this is going to be an ongoing discussion. You can come back to it and add a second one. You never know. Maybe the best arguer, the best discusser, if that's a word, in each class might, you know, the Jolly Ranchers might flow. You never know. So, anyways. That's how I want you to examine and listen to other people's ideas. By the way, you can add to your notes from other people's information. All right? That's the overall goal. The goal is for you really to dig in and to hit that target of looking at these people from both sides, because it matters today, because we still have these really, really wealthy people. We talked about it in all of our classes, about how some people have the, you know, we've got, you know, what is it, 26 billionaires in the world right now own as much as half the population. And here in the United States, we have just these incredibly, incredibly wealthy Americans right now. Are they captains of industry, or are they robber barons? You can make links to today, and you can make those connections on your sketch notes for the Gilded Age. All right? Now, don't go anywhere, because I do want to focus on one skill that we're going to do in class on Friday and Monday as well, and that is analyzing editorial cartoons. Let me get to it right here. All right. Now, this is a skill that I am a huge fan of when it comes to American studies, America's story, and today as well. It's how to analyze an editorial cartoon, because there's a whole bunch of cartoons that you can look at. What you need to realize is that editorial cartoons have opinions. That's what an editorial cartoon is. They are cartoons that make a statement or an editorial comment. All right? They're not just like Garfield, who's funny because he eats lasagna, which isn't really funny. So, how you analyze an editorial cartoon is very similar to how you do visual analysis with graphs and charts. If you remember, we did that back in November. The first thing you got to do, yes, is look at every aspect of the cartoon and then read every aspect of the cartoon. I'm going to do this one for you because parts of it are tough to read, but I'm going to help you out on that. All right. So this is called The Bosses of the Senate, and this is the U.S. Senate in the late 1800s. Here are the senators right here. And if I read every aspect of this cartoon, I'm going to show you a couple things here. Number one, over here it says public entrance, right in this area right there. It says public entrance, and it says closed. Here it says, this is the Senate of the monopolists, by the monopolists, and for the monopolists. This part up here says entrance for monopolists, or people who have monopolies. And here we have all of these big, fat monopolists with their top hats. You've got your nail trust, yeah, nails like hammer and nails, steel beam trust, copper trust, Standard Oil Trust, Iron Trust, Sugar Trust, Coal Trust, Paper Sack Trust, believe it or not. All of these big guys. And then here we have all these little senators. So I've read everything in here and I've looked at all of this. Now, what is the comment of the cartoonist? What is the cartoonist trying to say? The cartoonist is trying to say that these big trusts are really running the Senate over these small little senators. That these senators are either They're either influenced by them too much or scared of them. Even like look at this guy right here. He's kind of looking back going, oh my gosh. And this guy right here too. So that's this cartoonist comment. I would put this in the robber barons notes. I would read this cartoon and I would say, oh, it seems that industrialists had way too much influence and power over government. Okay? So that's how you analyze an editorial cartoon. Like I said, I love editorial cartoons. These things are so much fun. Okay, you're actually going to be making an editorial cartoon or two for this unit. This one right here, if you can't read it too closely, you can put, there's a little link that you can pop onto it. I'll try to put links to other ones so you can get a blown up version of them. But most of them you can kind of read. But make sure you read all the words to it, all right? Like Standard Oil and all that. Okay, so that's what I got for you, my friends. Have fun with this. You know, have a good academic discussion. It's kind of fun to use Flipgrid, I think, because we could have a discussion or debate in class. We will be debating in a couple weeks. But this is a way to do it as well. Just make sure that you're doing things the right way, that you're doing things, you're making assertions with evidence. We're not doing any name calling. You can say, I agree with somebody, but, or I disagree with somebody, or I see where you're coming from, but I'm going to go a different way. All right? Make this a great academic structured conversation. So that's what we got going on for our little cold day today, and I do hope I see you guys tomorrow, but if I don't, then, well, have another great cold day. Okay?